You guys are at the Lions and Snow Leopard session, and it's my great pleasure, really great pleasure, to introduce Shivani Bhalla. She's a fourth-generation Kenyan. At the age of 8, she picked up some binoculars, and of course she lives in the wonderful wildlife country, saw a cheetah, and she knew what she wanted to do. Shivani created Ewaso Lions in 2007, and in a remarkably short time, she's become, I think, the incredible next generation conservationist. This year, she won the Whitney Award for 2014, followed immediately by the Emerging Explorers Award given by the National Geographic Society. So I think she needs a big applause for that. She is completing her PhD at the University of Oxford, and I'm sure she's going to go a very long way. So it's my great pleasure to introduce the next generation of conservationists. Shivani.
I live in a tent in one of the most beautiful landscapes in the world, Samburu in northern Kenya. Together with my team of incredible, dedicated and passionate warriors and elders, we run the Ewaso Lions project. This is a grassroots, very much conservation community project where we're focusing on promoting coexistence between people and lions that share the same landscape. Through a recent expansion south of Samburu into Laikipia, we're now monitoring over 300 lions in this region. This is a substantial and crucial population in Kenya, and the third largest in my country. We believe that we're very worried about the lion situation in my country, Kenya. The lions in Africa, their numbers have plummeted. We estimate just over 30,000 lions in the whole African continent. In Kenya alone, just under 2,000 lions. There has been a 90% drop of lion numbers in the last 75 years in Africa. This is a great concern for us, a great concern for our government, the tourism industry, and conservationists in Kenya. So what is happening? Why are lions disappearing so quickly? Why are they in such serious threats? Why are they having so much trouble? Well, the main reason is lions are running out of space. Habitat loss is a big concern. The areas that lions used to roam in have disappeared. When this happens, they come into contact with the local people. There's more pressure on them. They come close to the local people, and there's a lot of trouble that happens. The Samburu people who I live with, their livelihoods depend on their livestock. Their camels, their cows, their goats, they're everything for them. So when a lion comes along and kills their camel or their cow, there's a lot of anger, understandably. There's a lot of resentment that's created when this happens. And the problem we face is lions will then get shot, speared, or poisoned. Lish was a lion that we knew for about 5 years in Samburu. He was the father of many cubs. He had control over 2 regions, Samburu and Buffalo Springs. He would move between prides, and he was a famous lion in our area. His name means brave warrior. But Lish, last year, started getting into a lot of trouble. He was going out, he was leaving the safety of Samburu, going out and attacking livestock. He killed over 10 camels just in 3 months, sometimes by himself, sometimes with his brother. We recognized that this was a problem. If we didn't do something, Lish would get into trouble. We decided to put a radio collar on him. So every time he left the safety of Samburu, we would know, we would get hourly locations of his movements, and we would be able to inform the local people in the villages that Lish is on his way. So look after your livestock better. This young warrior here, he's only 20 years of age. His name is Latoye. And Latoye's role was to protect Lish. This was his lion that he was going to track and monitor every day. Unfortunately, we were not given much opportunity. Lish was shot just over a year ago. His head was cut off and burnt. His legs were cut and his skin removed. These are the challenges we face. We felt like we had failed. We felt like this was a great failure on our part. We had failed Lish and we had failed the other lions. It was devastating for our project. Latoye, whose lion this was, he sat in camp for weeks after that, with his head in his hands, saying, how did they kill my lion? This was my lion to protect. These are my warriors, my brothers, my lions. They killed him. I can't let this happen again. What gave us hope was when this happened, people from all over the community, they came to our camp and they said, we know Lish was killed and we're so sorry about the loss of Lish. We understand how important he was and we will make sure that this doesn't happen again. For a Samburu person to apologize to another Samburu person for the loss of a lion was unheard of. But this is what happened when Lish was killed last year. We believe that the reason so many of the community members came to our camp to apologize for Lish is a result of the community programs that we have started. Warrior Watch is a project that we started in 2010. Generia, who's pictured in the middle of the picture, he's a young warrior. He's only 26 years of age. A warrior is a young man aged between 15 to 30. So these are all warriors here. Generia said to me, I've been working with Ewaso Lions for a few years, but there are no other warriors working. Yet we spend so much time in the community. We see wildlife on a daily basis. Let's involve them. Let's get them on board. I know I can do it. I want my other warriors to do it as well. So under his incredible leadership, we started this program. We have warriors now throughout the conservancy we work in. We started off with 5 warriors. Now we have 15. Their roles, they go out, they scan their areas, they make sure that if lions are in one area and livestock are in another, they will communicate that message to the herders and say, don't take your cows to this area, move it somewhere else where there's no lions. So they're amazing communicators. They're fantastic ambassadors in this region. We give them GPS units. We show them how to collect data. You can see here Peresi and Latoye. They have their amazing Samburu knives here with their toothbrush twig stuck in their knife. But now they have GPSs as well with their pens, and they're going out collecting this information every day. We asked the warriors, what would you like in exchange for all this fantastic wildlife information that you give us? What would you like in return? And they said, we would like education. We've never had the chance to go to school. We don't know how to read and write. We would like to learn how to read and write our names. So we started a Sunday school for our warriors in 2010. And I'm very excited to say that all of our warriors now can read and write. They can write little stories about the work they do, about the animals they see, about the conflict that's taking place. The education program has been a huge success for this project. We wanted to expand Warrior Watch. We saw that it was working, but we said, let's evaluate it and really try and see how effective are these warriors in this region. We evaluated it a few years ago, and the results were so positive. Not only did the warriors feel socially empowered, their status within the community had really been lifted as a direct result of this project. But also, because of them, the attitudes of the local people towards predators had greatly improved. So we knew that Warrior Watch is working. And because of that, we've been able to expand and have a network of warriors in northern Kenya. We were very excited to visit Keith and Colleen from the Ewaso Lion project early this year. I took some of the warriors with me. We met their incredibly amazing, dedicated team in this wilderness in Ewaso. Some of our guys got on planes for the first time. This was amazing because often we feel like we're alone in our work. The warriors feel like there's no one else doing this other than us. But here was an opportunity where they could talk about their successes, they could talk about the challenges, and they could become friends, lifelong friends. This is what was so special about this trip. We've worked with warriors, elders, children for a few years now. About a year and a half ago, the women in the community, they came to us and they said, "Where's our program? You're working with everyone, but where are we? We can be just as good in lion conservation as everyone else. Please involve us." So we said, okay, we're going to figure it out. We're going to see how we can engage the women in conservation in this area. Through the women, through their guidance, we started the Mama Simba program. Mama Simba means Mother of Lions. We started this a year ago, and of course, the first thing they asked us is, where's our school? The warriors have been going to school every Sunday for the last 5 years. What about us? We need our school as well. So we started a Saturday school for the women a year ago. I'm very excited to report that by January, most of these women were reading and writing. Far quicker than the warriors, although January hates me saying that. 2 weeks ago, just before I drove to Nairobi to jump on a plane to come to San Francisco, I went to see the women at their school. This lady in Parasoroy, she's a real leader, real spokeslady within the village, Sasab, which is near our camp. And I asked her, I went to see her at the school, and I said, in Parasoroy, how is the education coming along? How do you feel? How do you find the lessons are for you? And she said something to me. She said, I have 8 children. Most of them go to school. But for so many years, they would come back to me at home every night and show me their books, wanting some feedback from me. I would open their books, but I was blind. I didn't know what they were showing me. I couldn't understand their marks. I couldn't understand the teacher's comments. But now, my eyes have been opened. I can read what my children are giving me. And that is the power of education. The women, they spend a lot of time in their villages. So we were trying to encourage them. We were trying to get some more information about what carnivores come to their villages every night. So we did some conservation training with these women, and they said, well, we know hyena tracks and lion tracks, but we've never actually seen them properly. Show us a lion close up. We want to see them up close. We hear them at night, we see their tracks, but we actually have never seen one properly. So we asked the women, we said, well, do you want to go on safari? Do you want to go into Samburu, a famous destination? Tourists from all over the world come to Samburu. Would you like to come and see animals on safari? And the women said, yes. We want to go on safari. So here we are. We gave them binoculars, little cameras, and we took them out. We were a little worried because by 11 o'clock in the morning, we had seen very little. I think the highlight at that point was a crocodile and a few ostrich. So the women said, I could hear them in the car saying, Shivani, wapi Simba? Shivani, where are the lions? And I was getting a little nervous. I mean, we've got to show them lions. So I called up all the wardens, the rangers, and every tour guide I could think of in the park. And I said, guys, you've got to help me out. I've got to find some lions. I have the most important visitors of my life. I have to show them lions today. And through this amazing network we've created in Samburu, we got the phone calls and people were saying, okay, go in this area, you'll find them. We found the tracks, and sure enough, we found 2 of our main females, Nanai and Nabalo. They were in the bushes eating something, and the women were very excited, trying to identify what the lions were eating. At that time, Janaria, who was next to me, he was in our small car, and he had a lady next to him with a little baby who was getting a little bit agitated in the car. So he radioed me and he said, I'm going to drive off because I don't want to disturb the lions, so we'll communicate. So he left, and I stayed with the ladies and the lions. About 10 minutes later, Janaria radios me, and in his usual calm self, he says, Shivani, I think you should come to where I am. And I said, why? Why am I going to leave the lions? He says, well, come to Koitago, a big hill in Samburu, because something amazing's happening. I said, okay, what's happening? He said, an elephant's giving birth. And I, in my usual way, Janaria is very calm, I'm not, and I was like, I told the women, hang on, sit down. I didn't tell them what was going on. I just said, hang on, get down in the car. And I drove off to where this was happening. It was the most amazing thing. I've been in Samburu 12 years and I'd never seen this. We managed to see this incredible experience. We had this incredible experience. What was even more special is there's actually a relationship between Samburu women and elephants. This goes back to generations. There's a story that goes, elephants and women had a fight because the elephants used to bring firewood to the women, and the women were never satisfied with the quantity of the wood, so they fought with the elephants and they told them, go away. So this story was, this was happening, this incredible thing, this elephants giving birth. And the women in our cars started talking to the elephant. And one of the ladies in Jeneria's car, she said, "Ntomononi ai," which is acknowledging a lady in a very respectful way. She was talking to the elephant, and she said, "We're very sorry what's happening to you. We know you, lions, gravy zebra, we know you're all in trouble. We understand that now. We know that we have to be more committed and embrace conservation, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure we do that." It was an incredibly powerful moment, and what a first game drive for these women. The problem was, when we went back to camp, word spread. Oh, they saw an elephant giving birth. So we had women coming from everywhere. Take us on a game drive. We want to see an elephant give birth. Of course, we had to calm them down and say that's not an everyday thing. But it was a great game drive to be with the ladies on their first ever game drive. Children in rural Kenya, unfortunately, don't get very positive experiences with wildlife. They live near our famous parks and reserves, yet they never go inside. They don't understand the value of wildlife. For them, experiences are negative. They see a cheetah chasing a goat. They see the remains of a camel after a lion's preyed on it. They see an elephant chasing someone and attacking them, like what happened just 2 weeks ago near our camp. These experiences are so negative. We changed this through our Lion Kids Camp. This is the second year we've held this camp, and we bring wildlife to the children in a much more positive way. They come and spend 4 days with us. They come and get involved in all sorts of conservation activities, game drives, bird walks, they do some drama plays, and they really get involved in what we do. I remember, as Rodney said, I saw my first cheetah when I was 8 years old, and it happened to be in Samburu. And I've never forgotten that moment. That is why I do what I do. It's because of those amazing childhood memories I had as a child. And it is our hope that these children, if given positive experiences with wildlife, will want to do the same. So they will be the next Jenerias, wardens, game tourist guides in the area, the next conservationists in Kenya. So we're very much invested in the future of these children. We took them out to show them their first ever lions. These children might have heard lions, but they've never seen them. This was my favorite moment. I had these two little children next to me, Saiwana and Lutonos. They're from a school about 30 kilometers away from my camp, and they've never been anywhere near the park. And off we went, and we knew there were lions in the area. Not sure if you can see, but right at the back is one of our male lions, Gorette. And I knew that we were approaching the lions, and I told the little kids next to me, I said, "Okay, watch out, we're coming close to lions, look for them." And so they were looking eagerly out of the window, and they saw him. And suddenly both of them went down, and all I could hear was, "Simba, Simba, Simba." And then they turned around, and that was their expression. Pure delight. And this is what gives me hope for the future. So when I'm asked, is there a future for lions in northern Kenya, considering what's happening in the country? Absolutely, I am hopeful, because the future of lions is in the hands of the local people who are living with them. I'm going to tell you about Jeneria. Some of you might have met him last year. 6 years ago, he started working for the project. He was very quiet, very shy, didn't really say much. And now some of you might know him. He doesn't stop talking. He's this incredible wildlife leader. He's so dedicated and so passionate about his work. He said this last year, "Lions are in my bloodstream. If someone is angry and wants to kill a lion, I get very angry. I feel like I'm losing my life. A few weeks ago, he went home to look after his goats, and he kept sending me text messages. How is Nanai? How is Nabalo? How are the cubs? He doesn't switch off, Janaria. He's got lions in his mind all the time. And because of him, our team wants to become like him. They're out every day monitoring the lions, making sure that they're safe. Sometimes they're in the car, often they're on foot. They're identifying the lions, they're drawing their ears, they're looking at their whisker spot patterns, really getting to know them and really getting to embrace conservation. Latoye, a very quiet young warrior, only 20, wants to become like Janaria and is becoming like him. He believes that all lions belong to him. So he says, they're all my responsibility. And this is why I have hope for the future in Samburu. We've had a very challenging 48 hours, just the last 2 days. And this will really highlight to you some of the challenges we go through and how every day is different in Samburu. Our field team, just on Thursday, 2 days ago, suddenly saw 4,000 cows had come into the community area we live in. The people who were accompanying the cows were not from that area. They're from somewhere else. They don't know conservation. They don't know the importance of wildlife. They don't know why it's important to have lions there. The lions, we had 6 lions in this area next to 4,000 cows. 5 warriors came across some lions and wanted to kill them. This was on Thursday. Janaria was in the car, he was on patrol, and through this incredible network we've set up in Samburu, he got a message very quickly saying, 5 warriors are about to kill lions. Janaria, go quickly. And he did. He drove off as quick as he could. But unfortunately, because our roads are so awful in Samburu, he went straight into a hole and broke the car. But he didn't give up. He continued. He just made sure that those warriors did not go out and kill those lions. And he stopped them. He made sure that those 6 lions were safe. And he hasn't given up. For the last 24 hours, he's got our whole team together. They're on foot, making sure that those 4,000 cows are away from those lions, and that the people are aware of why it's important to have those lions and why they should not go after them. This is where we live, in Westgate Conservancy in Samburu. We live in, as you can see, there's no fences. It's a very simple camp, a couple of tents where I've lived now with my team for 7 years. We get hyenas, leopards walking through camp every day, including a big bull elephant. We have a great little camp dog who keeps us extremely well entertained. But I'm very excited to say we're building a permanent camp. And we're hoping by January, we will be in this new camp. We're doing this in partnership with the Grevi Zebra Trust, and we're very excited to be doing this together. And what we're really excited about is now, when it rains, we're not going to be running to our car for cover. We'll have a proper structure, not worrying too much about leaking tents or leaking mess areas. So we're very excited about this. We've had some successes over the years. We've had 12 new cubs we're monitoring just in the past 12 months. We've responded over the last 4 or 5 years to over 400 conflict cases. We've stopped lions from being killed on over 35 occasions, including just 2 days ago. And our warrior program has expanded. We now have 15 warriors working in conservation throughout this region. There has been a clear acceptance and more tolerance towards the presence, for the presence of lions in this area. We've bridged the gap between the tourism industry and conservation. We've trained 20 new, what we call Lion Watch guides within the park. We have a new program, the Mama Simba program, which I told you about. Kids see lions for the first time, and that's so important. This will sound strange to some of you. We now hear lions at night. For so many years, lions didn't feel safe, so we never actually heard them. But now, over the past year or so, we can hear them, and we all get so excited. And it's purely because lions feel safe. They feel safer now with the community who have embraced conservation as a result of the team who is out there protecting the lions. None of our work would be possible without your support. These two lions, this is Nashipai at the bottom and Nabo at the top. We sadly lost Nabo early in the year to a snake bite. They were our oldest lions. Her sister Nashipai, she's 13 years old, just over 13 years of age. I've known her right from the beginning, ever since I moved to Samburu. She has been a personal favorite of mine. She's taught me everything I know about lions. But she's been missing. She's been missing for the last 7 weeks or so, and our team is out there every day looking for her. I've been amazed at how over the last 2 days, so many of you have actually come up to me asking me, has Nashipai been found? Have you seen her? That means so much to us. It means so much to us that you care about these lions and that you support our work. Last year, Janaria was here with me for 3 days, and at the end of 3 days, he said to me, I'm amazed at everyone I met. People really care about what we do. They're encouraging us. They're supporting us. I don't feel so alone now when I'm in the field dealing with all the challenges, because I know there's people halfway across the world who really care and really support us. So I ask you today to please continue to support our work, continue to support our efforts in Samburu, so we can monitor Nashipai, we can ensure that she doesn't get into trouble in the next few years as she, because she is getting old. But we are keeping an eye on her, but we need your help to do that. We want to continue to hear lions every day at night, and we can only do that with you. Thank you very much. Ashe Oleng.